Here I am. Welcome back with another live streaming dedicated to these super mega hyper endless episode of Shingeki no Kyojin, the final episode. Sorry, I'm shaking a little bit of the screen because I'm trying to see if I can reproduce exactly the setting behind me. Okay, guys, I wait a few seconds so you can join me because we go ahead. Another live streaming more or less with the same length. Now, let's see how much I will talk and let's see what do we reach. Sincerely, I prefer to reach a certain point of the story because tomorrow I will go ahead with the part number 8. And I think, yeah, this week, if I can, I will be able to finish these analyses. It depends how many things I have to say in order to reach the end. That means the credits scenes, because those they are quite essential to be analyzed, and at the same time I wanted to give you multiple opinions about the last credit scene, that is the boy and the dog. So please stay tuned and keep on watching until the end of this huge experience. In the meantime, that I'm waiting that you join, I suggest you to write your comments in the chat box as you are always doing. Tell me your opinion and thoughts. Tell me what you think. If you liked the ending, if you didn't like the ending, it's up to you. Feel free to share your thoughts as always, now more than ever, because we don't have spoilers to avoid anymore. So in the case you wanted to tell me how you feel free to do so. Okay, so 1 hour and 30 minutes ago almost, we were reaching the moment in which Jan is having that huge courage to start the weapon, start the bomb on the neck of Eren, and at the same time, Armin is thanking all the previous Titan owners that met him in the dimension of the paths, because thanks to them, thanks to their sacrifice, they could help them stopping the rumbling. And we already analyzed everything that is happening immediately after the moment in which the rumbling stops. Now, I want to go back for a second because, as a review, we need to go back a few seconds before the previous live streaming ended so we can start. Okay, so now let's go back. And here, the Colossal Titan transforms while the others are on top of the fight. And in this moment, we have a parallel scene in which we see that Historia is giving birth. I think that this moment is happening exactly when the Colossal Titan is exploding. And as for the meaning of this scene, we can say that it's quite obvious to analyze it in a certain way. So we have on one side the Colossal Titan that is considered as the god of destruction. Wait, that I modify it. Okay. God of destruction, while on the other side, Historia is giving birth. So if we want to go back to analyze the lyrics of opening number 6, My War, at a certain point The lyrics are saying destruction and regeneration, you are the real enemies. Could this mean that, yes, if on one side we have a pure destruction because we know the power of the colossal titan, on the other side, the fact that Historia is giving birth means that a new life is starting. And at the same time, we know that until Ymir will be over, let's say until this curse of the Titans will be over, it's like as if even this girl, or I think, yeah, it's a girl, definitely. But let's say Historia's daughter is still a part of the royal bloodline until, I repeat you, until this curse of Titans will end. Regarding Ymir. But at the same time, that's why I wanted to connect myself with opening number six, because destruction and regeneration, you are the real enemies. This refers not only to life in general, that means first there is the end to have a new beginning, but it's destruction and regeneration. So something you think you destroy, but then it regenerates. That creates the enemies, that creates the problem. So this scene was pretty awesome because you see, on one hand, that Armin is trying to destroy Eren and his power with the explosion of transforming. And on the other side, you see Historia that is giving birth to this new life that, as always, it's considered something really great, something positive, because it helps the new generations to go on, and at the same time, it gives hope. To this new generation that might change things in the future. Then, if they are going to change it or not is something else. The thing is that let's keep trying to change some things. I like this scene because even in this case, you can't hear Historia's scream, but I mean, it's all muted, it's all silent, but you can. It's like as if you can definitely hear the pain she's feeling in that moment, and maybe it involves even the beginning of a new period that it comes. We also see the husband of Historia that waits outside of the doors because he is afraid for her, and he patiently waits that she's giving birth. I think, yes, this contraposition of scenes was definitely awesome to let you understand the difference between end and the beginning. Let's go ahead. Yes. Of course, Armin was sure to not explode next to these survivors of the other side of the ocean. Otherwise, try to imagine, it would have been pointless for them to keep wanting the freedom of humanity, right? But and of course, while John keeps saying, look at the bones over there, it means that Eren is dead. they show us Mikasa's face because, okay, Mikasa's face in this case is not representing resignation as much as before Armin exploding. But in this case, her face shows me a little bit of hope that Eren is still alive. I mean, there is still that hope that she feels for something that can confirm her not only the fact that Armin is alive and he feels okay, but the fact that Eren might be alive still. She still hopes that this thing is happening. And in the same moment, at the same time she is hoping this, she starts remembering, thanks to this sort of headache or pain, what Eren told her at that time, when it was the last time they met together. And in fact, she keeps remembering Eren saying all the things about the Ackerman power and about the fact that he has always hated her, etc., etc., etc. So this is a thing that keeps going on in her mind. Ever since I was little, I can't stand the sight of a slave who obeys orders without question. Etc. I mean, Mikasa is reflecting on these words, but at the same time, she is thinking, come on, it can't be possible that this was the last time that we talked together. Um, Actually, it is. I mean, except for the vision, that dimension, parallel dimension that was created by Eren in order for him to say goodbye to her. That's exactly that was exactly the last time, physically speaking, she could see Eren physically speaking in front of herself, saying the worst things. So she's starting thinking, this can't be, I mean, this can't be the last time we talked together. In fact, she's starting remembering little by little the fact that in her opinion there was another time that they talked together. So little by little, yes, I wanted to underline this once again. By knowing what Ymir wanted to do and who was the real person Ymir wanted to reach, that is not Eren, but is Mikasa, I wanted to say that even in this case, especially after Eren's death, in which we see that she will meet Ymir, and she is going to talk to her a little bit. It makes me understand that these headaches that she is having, plus even her memories involved, for sure, um, they are a process handled by Ymir. Ymir herself to let her remember what was told and how she could react to all these, how she can move forward somehow with her choice, because you know that especially in the moment when um, Eren, Mikasa, and Armin met in this final season, and they talked together in season two, in season four, part two. You remember that, of course, there was Eren's purpose, but it was even at the moment for Mikasa to try to express her feelings a little bit more, even if she couldn't completely, because she was stopped by those hateful words that she received. But at the same time, it was the first time she could get in touch with an Eren that seemed to be really distant from her. So I think that that meeting was pretty useful for all three. But I think it was really necessary for Mikasa to have that meeting to see how she responded to those hateful sentences that she heard from Eren. I think that she really needed something that shocked her so much to be able to uh, start reaching the path of a choice, or I mean, the path to make a choice. I think that was the real starting point of Mikasa's change as a character. But yeah, she's starting having those painful moments while, let me go ahead. Ha- As you could see, Gabi and all the others can meet with their parents, with their relatives. So it's a moment that it depends on the point of view of the character we are analyzing. It can be a happy moment, but even a sad one. Of course, for Gabi, Falco, Pic, all these Annie, all these people who tried their best to go back home and meet their parents again, like even Reiner for sure. But this moment is precious because they have the chance to meet with all of them once again. But in the case of Mikasa and Armin, Jan and Connie, they are wondering. No, I mean, they, of course, they know that their decision was the best one to take. But at the same time, while they are seeing these all these people running towards their dear people, they know that they can't because even for them, Eren is a dear person. But absolutely, they can't step back on what they are thinking to do right now, and at the same time, they can't betray humanity doing something that it is not supposed to do. So I feel Mika, Armin, Jan, and Connie on one side that are a little bit, I mean, even if they are convinced about what they are doing, they are a little bit sad because they can't meet Eren and they can't hug Eren as much as they are seeing in front of their eyes all these people who are doing so. And on the other side, you see, as much as I was telling you, these people who are so happy to see their relatives alive so they can hug them and they can stay all together. So this is pretty painful. I mean, I felt so emotional during the reaction because this moment makes you understand that these characters we really love, Mika, Armin, John, and Connie, understand that there is no turning back for real, that they chose a path and they should go ahead with that. There's no way that that they are going to hope that that moment in which they see Eren coming back to them, they can hug him. This is already a sort of a finale because they have in front of their eyes the reality. Some of them can go back and meet their dear people, and some of them, like them, they can't. And you see the difference of the facial expressions too. I mean, you see Gabi, Falco, Pic, so happy. Their eyes are describing the happiness, of course, to see these people in their lives again. While on the other side, you see our dear friends Jan, Connie, Mikasa, and Armin with their facial expression that is miserable and happy for their friends, but miserable for regarding themselves because they know that this can't happen to them. I can, in fact, Connie says, I can't say I don't have regrets. Sure, I mean, I admire, I appreciate Connie's honesty right now because he is realizing that even if they know that what they did was the right thing to do, at least he's saying that he can't deny the fact that he has regrets. Um, I can't say I don't have regrets. For sure, he has, because they are involving. I mean, not only themselves, but they are talking about one of their dearest people who stand next to them for a long, long time, and they have to abandon him. They have to be courageous enough to admit this loss and to say that they lost him for something that matters more. This is not easy to do, especially when we are talking about deep relationships, relationships that last for a long time. Especially when we talk about characters who spend the time, lots of time together, especially when we talk about characters that they had the same purpose in their minds, the same goals at the beginning, and then they discovered something that was totally the opposite. I mean, Gian, Connie, Mikasa, and Armin faced a roller coaster of emotions, something that even in real life we feel, but these up and down of feelings that are letting you believe one thing and then later they debunk you because the reality shows you something else. These up and down of situations, emotions, feelings, evolution of characters. Yeah, it's like as if they lived a life together, an entire life, because what they have experienced is a lot. And they experienced a lot with the person that now they wanted to condemn forever. So, how can you erase those memories from your mind to follow your new goal? That's hard to do. So, I understand when Connie says, I can't say I don't have regrets because he is honest to say that at least for a certain percentage, he still believes that he has regrets of killing Eren, or that he has regrets of losing hope on Eren. The fact that they let him go, it's not something that it's easy to handle. But at the same time, then he's saying something else. Still, what we did was the right thing, right? Watching that moment makes him doubting once again that the thing they chose to do was the right thing. I appreciate that they show us the instability, the fragility of thoughts of Connie here, because they are in front of a moment that they have always dreamt of recently. That means to be able to hug Eren as much as those people are hugging their relatives. That's the ultimate goal that they have in the last season, to be able to reach Eren, to be able to change his mind, to be able to talk to him, to be able to stay together once again. And the fact that they know that this is not possible, as much as the fact that they saved the other side instead of taking care of a Paradise, and instead of taking a side with the Paradise, the fact that Connie is here and says it was that the right thing to do, right? He hopes for a confirmation of this question, but at the same time, it means what if later we will discover that our choice we made was wrong because maybe the rest of the population that survives will attack Paradise again. So what we did so far, was it meaningless, or it was the right thing to do? Yeah, I liked this moment. Yeah, I liked this moment in which they look and they see something that they have always wanted to see for them, but it's not for them. It's not happening to them. It's happening to other people, those who were considered enemies before they stayed all together again. Yes, they stopped the rumbling, so that's the thing that is the most important one. And in fact, oh, Annie is asking why they are over there because they were supposed to stay in Liberio, and now too have been crashed down by the rumbling. By that means to die because of the rumbling. But then Karina says that Annie's father helped them to move that far, so it was his idea to help them moving from that place so they could reach the top of this fort, that is the place where even in the previous episode we see that they reach thanks to the train. And Karin understands that, of course, Karin understands that uh, Annie was waiting for this moment for such a long time, not only because maybe Annie's father told her about the promise they made, but even because she can relate for the fact that even Karina herself couldn't wait to meet Reiner again. Not only because it was a way to see him back after the mission, but now more than ever, Karina understood how meaningless was her life, because she was preferring to uh, pay attention on this goal that she had. And if that means to use her son in order to reach it, she would have done it. And actually, she did it. But by doing this, especially now that she almost died, she understands that what she did so far was something really cruel. She's judging herself as a bad mother. And what she will say later, yes, made me feel so emotional, because you see that even in this case, when she's saying, Annie, go and see him, that's the chance you have always waited for, but even the chance to hug them, to hug your father back, because everything that was happening because of us, who sent you to war and experience something tremendous due to our selfishness, due to our um, way to brainwash you. So that was good to see. And then you see Mikas over there staying by herself and then saying Armin because she saw him. Ah, I wanted to underline these two. As you can see in this scene, you find the sky that is completely covered by clouds, and sometimes you see the ray lights of the sun um, appearing, not entirely, but just in few sites. I mean, in few parts of this scenario. This is so powerful as an image because it makes you understand that the sky is not clear yet. And if the sky is not clear yet, it means that nothing is completely over. That's why the clouds represent still this impact of these colossal titans, or in this case, this impact of the explosion of the colossal titan that is Armin, that created this fog, this mist, st- mm, these dust that comes up from the sand that was touched or involved by this explosion that automatically is causing um, these clouds that represents darkness still, while a little bit of ray lights are appearing. So it's like as if yes, you are almost reaching the end, you are almost reaching the blue sky and the light of the sun, but not yet. The story is not over yet. So even the setting that is responding to what's happening in the story, that's really awesome. I don't know if in the manga you could see these details, but actually with the anime, everything like this is probable. I mean, it's possible to detect. That's why I like anime also for this thing. Yeah. Yeah. See, Reiner, yes, is fine. Let's say he survives, but there is that creature that desperately wants to keep going on trying to survive. And that makes you understand that that makes you understand that in this case the creature wants to go on, wants to try to find a solution to go on living or to survive. And it doesn't matter what it takes. It doesn't matter if this creature has to defend itself, and we will see it later. It doesn't matter if uh, these these means to put others in danger, because if the creature represents life, then when you are in danger, it doesn't, if we reflect these to human beings, it doesn't matter if other people will be put in danger, because when human beings are in danger, they prefer to save themselves first, to give that a sort of a priority to themselves first, and then to look around themselves. So this creature definitely represents human beings, even if these a thing attached to human beings, and it's not a human being. But by representing life, I think that mm, if we think about the creature as a living thing that needs to go on, and if even if it's in danger, it's causing um, the damage for something else, it's because of this will to survive. But I wanted to open a little bracket talking about this creature, because when you know that in some analysis before I was analyzing this creature a little bit deeper. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you want, you can go and check those analyses, even if I know that they are pretty big. I mean, they are so long, but I think it's interesting to understand the different points of view regarding the creature itself. The creature is the bacterium, I mean, this white centipede that tries to perpetrate over and over again. Now I was thinking, yes, because in the previous analysis I was talking about the power of the Titans, etc., etc. And while I was talking, I was thinking, look, these bacterium, I mean, this centipede, white centipede, is it was the one who gave Ymir this power. This power that Ymir gained is exactly the nine titans put all together. So, if we analyze these characteristics of each titan, of course, these centipede can have a sort of supernatural existence, or let's say that by having all these abilities in one and transmitted these powers to Ymir all together in one, um, it makes you understand that this thing is really, how can I say, it seems to be almighty for some reasons, because now I wanted to go back for a second to episode 2, if I'm not wrong, or episode 3 of season 4 part 1, when they are describing each titan's ability, because later you're going to understand what I'm talking about. Let's see if from YouTube I can find um, what I mean. So, Attack on Titan, Titan abilities. Let's see. Oh, yes, maybe I could find it. Okay, 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 okay. So these are the explanations that were given by Marlians when they were describing the Titans as they knew them. But just to let you understand, even after with the info we got about the Shingeki no Kyojin, let's see. Okay, so okay, the female titan. Let's see the characteristic that these titans have, because then we need to understand that all these characteristics can be reconduced to the centipede. I mean, to this creature that was helping. That was helping Ymir to gain this huge power. So, in the meantime, let's analyze one by one. Okay, wait a second that I got the. Okay, wait a second. I have to reopen it. Very. Wait a second. Mhm. I'm checking one thing, guys. I'll be back in a few seconds. Ta, 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 ta. Okay, okay, I'm ready. Sorry, I had to check if that thing was correct. Okay, okay, ready to go. Versatility and be able to adapt to any situation. Let me see. Do I have a piece of paper to write these down, or okay, I will try to remember everything as best as I can. Okay. high mobility and the speed. To use the hardening when it needs to. And if we analyze these things regarding the centipede, these makes sense because even this centipede throughout the centuries, throughout the millions of years, probably, okay, was becoming versatile because it was a changing form. Even Zeke says something like this, that it could change forms, and and the fact that the female titan, can adapt to itself to each situation makes you understand that if we talk about the centipede, even the centipede throughout the generations, blah, 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 had to adapt itself to the situation. High mobility and speed, maybe those characteristics, we saw it even now that the centipede is quite fast when it moves, and it has a great ability to move its body so fast. Okay. And maybe the ability to use the hardening to protect itself. So we imagine that all of these characteristics then they were given to Ymir to create something that is the Titan, the founding Titan. But even in its existence, this centipede for sure needed a way to become hard in the case of dangerous situations that could even relate to its ability to survive, to um, be sure to survive to each situation possible. Okay, then we talk about the armor titan, and it's another characteristic that, I mean, it's another type of titan that derives, as for the characteristics, from the centipede. So we know that the armor titan is good, is specialized in hardening. So I already told you this before with the female titan too. But let's go ahead. So maybe, cioè, if we talk about all of these characteristics, you understand that this centipede needed needed to become this hard sometimes to be able to um, survive, to be able to go against some dangerous situations or moments in which it could disappear, that it could extinct. So this is okay. This is another thing. Okay. Then we have the Joe Titan. Okay. He is agile, and the arms and claws, they have enough power to crush anything. So as you can see, he is pretty agile, and in fact we see this centipede that is agile too, sincerely, even if there is a Reiner that has this power of the Kyojin, of the armor titan. But anyway, you see how fast it is, how agile it is, and even the fact that this Joe Titan has the power to crush almost everything. So he has some ways to defend itself by attacking. So this centipede has, I want to remind you this, it has all these characteristics in one that was transmitted to Ymir. The Beast Titan. He is good at longer range attacks, okay, for sure, because of the baseball thing, and now we understand for sure why. But what I'm saying is that even this Beast Titan could have had. Okay, there is something special power in his blood because Zeke was a royal bloodline. But now I wanted to tell you another thing that connects with ending number two. No, sorry, opening number two of Shingeki no Kyojin. No, opening number three. Maybe it's number three. Yes. Yes, number three, because at the end, and now we go and watch it for a second. Um Attack on Titan, opening three. I think it's that one. Yes, yes. If I'm not, yes, yes, yes. Um, now, is it this one? Sì. No, but I need the real opening. I mean, dov'è? Where is it? Eccolo qua. Yes. Now let's go directly to the end. Oh, finally, finally, finally. How can we take these away? Do you remember the opening number three, in which at the end of it, you have some species of animals involved, and then you see Zeke running with all these previous forms of life. Of course, if now we understood what this creature wanted to do, that means this centipede wanted to do throughout centuries, eras, and millions of years, you understand that it went on. I mean, maybe yes, they went on throughout eras, but at this point, let me see. Wait, because I don't like it. No, wait, 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 wait. I'm trying to reach. Where is it? Okay, 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 okay. Here we go. Here we go. See, because in this moment in which they are running, you see even a T-Rex, you see even a whale, you see an elephant, you see, I mean, you see different species, but even different forms of life that, of course, they had the same heart, let's say, because they have the same thing in common with Zeke as for being a beast titan. Um, but this, at this point, this goes back to my idea that I was, okay, of this idea that I had in previous analysis that before attaching itself to Ymir, this centipede was attaching to other creatures, to other living things, giving its power more and more and more. And I don't think that this centipede could give only evil things. But you need to remember that Ymir becoming a titan, a founding titan, She incorporated exactly all the characteristics that the Titans later had. In the case of all these Titans, you understand that their ability, that their abilities, if you put them all in one, the centipede was pretty powerful. And it was having abilities that could contrast the time, that could contrast evolution. I mean, a sort of selection for the evolution of the Earth. And it's pretty meaningful. Let me go ahead with these characteristics that, of course, those characteristics are coming from the Marley point of view, not not something completely official and whatever. But this is really important because it makes you understand how the centipede was strong before attaching Ymir, and at the same time how Ymir used that power she received by that centipede. Then this centipede influenced other creatures before Ymir to be able to go on living through one species to the other one. And then you understand that now that we reached that moment in the final episode when Eren was going to be separated by the centipede because the head fell down of the Shubino Kyojin, you understand something else. Let's go ahead with the characteristics. Strategy. This is another ability. That's the ability of the card Titan, for example. And then the Colossal Titan that has the power to destroy what's surrounding him. But then, okay, thank you for this for a little video of explanation of these Titans' abilities. But you need to remember that there is even the Shingeki no Kyojin, that is one of the most powerful Titans between all these nine ones. That has the ability not only to move forward, I mean, not only to be able to contrast the enemies, contrast the people who are trying to uh, stop him, but it has even the immense power to coexist through time. So, these centipede, if you put all these characteristics in one, it has the ability to seem to be almighty, to seem to be undestroyable, right? Some people can see these centipede, as much as I told you many times, as for the figure of God. Why some people believe so is because if you think about all these characteristics, and if you think about this creature attaching itself to human beings, that means giving the possibility to the human being to have the free will to use this power in a certain way and make this power being used for good, for bad, it's up to the individual itself. Automatically it can create something merciful or or a curse, right? So it depends how you use the power that this creature is granting you. So that's why some people were saying, is the creature, I mean, is this a centipede that is attaching itself to Ymir or to other previous creatures a sort of godly free will to let you choose how to use this power. I don't know if there are lots of people believing something like this. I mean, giving you this option, but I wanted to give you this option for sure because it's directly connected with what I wanted to tell you some days ago when I was analyzing a specific scene that then takes me exactly to the post credit scene that we saw with the boy and the dog. Once we will reach that moment, you understand what I mean. But by knowing that this centipede has high fusto, hello, welcome back. While we know that this centipede granted Ymir such a huge power, and then this power was divided into nine, and these nine have each of these nine titans have different characteristics. It means that the founding titan had all of them into one. But these characteristics derive from this centipede that attached itself to Ymir. It means that even the centipede could survive through centuries, through millions of years, through decades, through days, whatever. Um, Also because little by little this centipede could grant these abilities that it's also called a way to survive or evolution if we follow Darwin and the selection of species that can move forward because of their natural adaptation to the setting, to the habitat. So now the question is, does this creature have always had these abilities, or does this creature had these abilities little by little? I mean, if this centipede have always had these characteristics since the beginning, since it was formed because it could survive, then it means that it could be seen as a supernatural creature that is giving to human beings the free will to choose how to handle this power, etc., etc., etc. If the centipede didn't have all these titans characteristics, and little by little, thanks or because of evolution, thanks or because of adaptation based on the setting, on the habitat, could develop, it means that this creature started at the beginning that was a pretty fragile, had to survive, right? And in fact, even Zeke said the only form of life that could survive was life, was called life. But then it means that little by little it tried to find a way to survive as much as it could make it. I have another option to tell you. We have nine abilities of each Titan. Does that mean that this creature survived already nine times? Maybe. Every time this creature, this centipede, survived, it could gain a new ability until it reached nine abilities that later became the nine titans in this case, and it encountered Ymir and could give her these nine abilities that they were part of the previous experiences that this centipede had. So it's like as if this centipede giving the powers to Ymir was giving to Ymir even the data of all the things this centipede has experienced through life, thanks, I mean, converting these experiences into abilities. Do you understand what I mean? I hope yes. Um, so this figure of the centipede is mysterious, so mysterious, but it's actually the founding titan. I mean, it's the power of the founding titan. And in fact, when Eren's head of the Shubino Kyojin now is collapsing, is falling apart, the creature is trying its best to attach itself once again to Eren's head. Because if it attaches itself, it can go on proceeding, it can go on surviving. But now I'm wondering. No, I will not tell you now. I will tell you when we reach the boy and the dog. Because that scene, only that scene, I think it will take me some hours to analyze it. Not just um, as a visual impression. No, I'm talking about the meaning that I could develop in my mind about that scene. I think that scene it will require one entire live streaming, to be honest with you. But okay, going back to what I was telling you, now we see that Eren seems to be defeated. But this centipede comes out and it's struggling its best, as always, to survive, to keep going on, and to try to reach Eren, probably, because without. Yes, I was wondering, because Eren now turns into the Colossal Titan, too. So wait a second, I'm thinking because, as you know, nothing is scheduled here. I mean, I didn't write any sort of note. I'm just going with the flow. So I'm thinking, why Eren could transform into the Colossal Titan. Um, I'm thinking for a second. Because he can reproduce probably the form he wants, as much as he did it on top of this skeleton. Probably he can do it even with himself, but I don't understand how he can turn into a Colossal Titan if he has never been one. That's a question mark to me. But at the same time, okay, he is the founding titan. I mean, Eren is the founding titan, so he has the power to be the source right now. But why, throughout the previous seasons, if he was the founding titan and he could transform into a colossal titan, he didn't do it? I mean, if I have this power that can grant me the ability to transform even into the titans that I think that I can, why? Why he couldn't do it before and he can do it now? This is one thing that I don't understand, sincerely. But the thing that we need to understand is that now he is no more the Shubi no Kyojin, because the head fell down and he is no more attached to the centipede. In fact, the centipede is desperately trying to reach him. And if you noticed, from the moment in which he is not attached to the centipede anymore, he is giving back the memories to Mikasa and Armin, in which you can see the true self, his true being. I mean, I've noticed this, but I don't know if I'm saying something stupid. I'm just telling you what I really thought when I saw those scenes and when I rewatched them now together with you. Because to me, I mean, I don't think that it's incoherent, the fact that um, as soon as he was not part of the Shubino Kyojin anymore, he can let Armin and Mikasa recollect these memories. I mean, it's like as if once he is no more part of the Shubino Kyojin, he can start being more human than before. And when I say before, I say the moment in which he was attached to the centipede. I mean, to the centipede to create the Shubino Kyojin. But no, ma wait, 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 wait. No, wait. By being the founding titan, he already had the centipede inside himself. I remember when Gabi cut his head, and the centipede. Wait, I needed to rewatch that scene for a second. Hmm, Eren and Zeke. Touch. Yes, Eren and Zeke touch. Yes, but later. I remember the moment in which I screamed to hear so much. Okay, but when yes, yes, when he is touching Zeke's hand, sorry, Zeke's hand, the skeleton, let's say, of the centipede is connecting the head with the body with Zeke's hand. So the centipede is inside Eren until he is the founding titan. So now this centipede is running away, but I mean, is trying to find a way to escape from Reiner and all the others, but This confuses me. This confuses me. Oof. No, I have to search for a second. Mm. Oh, yes, yes, exactly. Wait, 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 wait. Oh. No. Yes, but this centipede is connected too? No, wait, 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 wait. Ma why I can't? Wait, wait. Let me. Yes, yes. See if I play back at the speed. Let's see. Mm, but it's connecting to its body. Ma, I want, but my question is something else. Before, I mean, Eren, before touching Zeke, he had, by being the founding Titan, he had the centipede, let's say, inside himself, inside his being. That centipede revealed its size and its face just because Eren's head was cut and it was rolling away, and it couldn't attach Eren's body. But that centipede should be inside Eren since the moment he became a founding Titan, not just because he touched Zeke. That centipede was desperately trying to reach Eren's head at that time when he met Zeke. He touched Zeke because it was necessary for the effective touch. No, no, no. Oh no, I'm confused now. In that moment, when Eren touched Zeke, that Zeke got Eren's head, the centipede appeared. But it appeared because Ymir gave him the power. Let's see one more time, because this is the most confusing thing in general to me. Mm, no, okay, wait, because there are some commercials. No, but wait, I don't understand. Hmm. Okay, no, this is not the video I wanted to see before this one. Where is it? Okay, but then no. Oh no, wait. I have to get back the video. Yes, yes. You see, the centipede appears because Ymir gave him the power. Exactly. He was hugging Ymir, and immediately after that Ymir has this reaction, this centipede starts connecting Eren between his head and his body. Ma sì, but this means that even if before he was the founding titan, he was not having the centipede inside himself. Ymir granted him the power, so the centipede was connecting Eren's body to his head, so it could attach itself to Zeke. But now that this centipede is not touching Eren anymore, the centipede doesn't connect to Eren anymore in this moment. Because the centipede is over there trying desperately to reach him one more time to start the rumbling. So it also means that Ymir wanted humanity to be destroyed because the centipede attaches to Ymir principally. So, but on the other side, Eren seems to be free from the centipede now. And in the moment in which he is free from that centipede, he can attack Armin and as a colossal titan. But I still don't understand why Eren can transform into a colossal titan. I don't understand. I really don't understand why. Okay, let me go ahead anyway because I keep thinking. Yeah, of course. Listen, of course that the centipede is alive even after the explosion of the colossal titan because as I told you, as much as this centipede gave the power to Ymir and uh, it means that it gave some characteristics that the centipede itself also had already. It's obvious that he can survive after the explosion of the colossal titan. This is understandable. We can't let it live. Exactly. Okay, sure. Yeah, but why? I mean, okay, that Eren can transform and transform and transform. Yes, so we understood that because even in the Liberius attack, he kept transforming one time after the other. But I don't understand why he can transform into a colossal titan. But Mikasa is completely desperate. I mean, she is there that she doesn't really know what to do anymore, and she's looking at this scenario as if it's, oh no. Now that I started believing that Eren was gone, and even if it's painful, I could start accepting it, let's say, now he's back. So she doesn't know anymore what to think. I mean, do I have to feel happy that he's still alive, or do I have to feel sad because he's still alive? And look, we are expecting so much from Mikasa right now that let me say, this vision of Eren as a colossal titan, one of the final moments of Eren is one of the best. I mean, as a representation of how of what he is representing. I hope that one day someone will make a T-shirt of the face of Eren that is going against Armin. I hope that, because that Shingeki no Kyojin is amazing. The face, but the typical face of a demon that is confronting his friend, this fire that is in the background, as if we are directly reaching hell, and he is coming out from his cave. I mean, the demon that is coming out, like in the case of the Lord of the Rings, when the Balrog was coming out facing Gandalf. I mean, there's a fire in the background, and everything is red. While I told you in the previous analysis, when Armin was thanking the previous owners dying, they were all bluish because they are dead, okay, physically speaking. But here we see Eren approaching Armin with his majesty, let's say. But there is this thing that I don't understand. I still don't understand why Eren can turn into a colossal titan. Because he was the founding titan even before, throughout the previous years. Why he didn't transform into a colossal titan if he could? Even in Liberio, okay? If Eren could transform into the colossal titan, why he couldn't? Why he didn't do that? And he let Armin do it. I still don't understand this thing. Probably is the only thing. I hope so, but probably is the only thing that I couldn't get from this story in this moment. Why? Why can he transform into a colossal titan? I don't get that. Please, if you know why, or if you understood why, let me know in the comments, because that's the question mark that I have right now. Yes, okay, okay. But in this moment in which the centipede is not attached to Eren, you understand that the centipede doesn't or isn't the evil side of Eren's personality. Eren, with or without this centipede, moves forward. The fact that the centipede can grant him this huge power doesn't mean that it's affecting Eren. Because if Eren was affected by this power that the centipede was trying to transmit to him, thanks to Ymir, you could understand that Eren right now, that is no more attached to the centipede, could have gone back as for the Eren that we know. But of course, the Eren that we know, even before having this sort of attachment to this centipede, had some clear thoughts about what to do. But in that moment, he is, in the past, he is the Shingeki no Kyojin. Now he is a colossal titan, and we don't understand why. Okay. But this means that Eren, with this incredible power or without, being the Shubi no Kyojin or not being it, doesn't change his purpose. That means what he really wanted to do is to try to exterminate the population on Earth, because from his point of view, he tried so many times to change the story, but he couldn't. He saw these from the future. He tried to modify a little bit the story, but he couldn't. Then we need to remember that anyway, in episode 2 of season 1, he says that he wants to exterminate all the titans from Earth. So of course he's moving forward, because from the future he saw that Armin will save humanity, and in order to let Armin shine, he has to be his opponent. So he will be able to be reminded he can be remembered as the one who defeated Eren Yeager. But there is another thing. Eren is still the Shingeki no Kyojin. So the Kyojin that can coexist through time, past, present, and future, but even the Titan that wants to move forward. So even if you try to stop him, and Armin exploding as a colossal titan was trying to stop Eren, who is the Shingeki no Kyojin that doesn't want that anybody stops him. So in this case, now it's about time to confront the person who tried to stop him. So this is pretty coherent, but the only thing that to me it sounds a little bit incoherent is Eren that is a colossal titan and not the Shingeki no Kyojin. If he is not attached to the centipede anymore, why did he transform into the colossal titan and not into the Shingeki no Kyojin? This is something that sincerely I will never understand. Or I repeat you, in the case you have an idea about this, let me know in the comments. So Eren anyway doesn't want to stop fighting for his principles, and to be able that Armin will help him to reach freedom, or his friends to reach freedom. So he thinks that by deleting this curse from himself, he will be free. He is also continuing going on because his friends have to shine and he has to be an opponent, because his friends have to survive, and he knows watching the future that they will survive and they will have a long life. But if Eren was kind, I think that he was no more Eren. I mean, I think, hi, hello, thank you very much for commenting. I think that Eren needed to go on with what he was doing as a principle that he installed in his mind by thinking that he was what he was saying that he was. And if he was not continuing till the end, he was a coward like his father, who stopped in the best moment. He was a coward like probably all of the previous Shingeki no Kyojin who didn't have the right guts to proceed, to move forward. And he was betraying his own self. That means in my opinion, Eren reached a moment in which he was figuring out that the problem was this centipede. In order to erase the Titans, he needs to be destroyed, so even the centipede will stop living. At the same time, all the power of the Titans will be deleted from Earth, so his real initial goal is fulfilled. His friends will be alive to narrate its story and to go on living with by having a long life, etc., etc. And this happened. He saved Historia and he made it because Historia could have had a daughter, so he protected her as much as he promised that he would have protected Historia. He did it. One thing we don't know if he made it sincerely, because did he take this centipede away from Earth? We will talk about it when we will reach the credit scene. Did he sacrifice in vain? Absolutely. Absolutely. He sacrificed in vain, unfortunately. But anyway, with his sacrifice, he could delete this curse of Titans from his friends because in the case he kept going on surviving, this time limit that all these other people had by transforming into Titans would have continued. That means even Armin, after 8 years, would have been dead, right? So this is yeah, a sacrifice, and I think that Eren was coherent to go on till the end with his purpose. He was stopped, and I don't know if he was happy that the rumbling stopped or not. The reason why I say this is because Eren, when he is separated from the centipede, he doesn't desperately go towards the centipede to start the rumbling again and to exterminate all of the rest of the population. Eren, after he is separated by the centipede, he is looking at Armin and wants to fight against Armin. Think about it. If I know that I can start the rambling once again by going by trying to approach this centipede, as soon as someone is trying to stop me in that way, I run towards the centipede once again to touch it and to be able to start the rambling again. But he didn't do this. Okay, that Zeke died, that's why it's impossible probably to start the rambling again as before, because we need to know that the rambling, in order to start, we need the royal bloodline on one side and the owner of the founding titan. So was he able to start the rambling again or not? And if it was possible to start the rumbling again, why he's not running towards the centipede, but he's trying to move forward facing Armin? Is it because Armin tried to stop him? And it means that if you try to stop him, then he's going to take your life because you tried to interfere with his freedom of doing things? Or, to put it simply, because Eren in that moment didn't want to start the rumbling and exterminate the other 20% of people. I mean, we know that Eren wants to exterminate everyone, but if he was really concerned about losing this power, he would have liked to regain it instead of focusing on Armin and trying to defeat or fight Armin. Then the fact that Eren wanted to go on to exterminate all population of the world, etc., etc., it's quite obvious. But right now, I'm saying, why didn't he go to send to the centipede? Why he was not focusing on starting the rumbling again? Because here, all the other characters are saying, look, if Eren now, if the centipede now is attaching to Eren one more time, the rumbling will start again. But are we sure? Are we sure? Did Eren want them to stop the rumbling on purpose so the centipede couldn't attach itself anymore to him and create the rumbling without Zeke? Are we sure that the rumbling could have been started again? Isayama is not saying this. These characters are saying that the centipede meeting Eren again now could start the rumbling. But until the centipede didn't try it, we would have never known this, right? So what I'm saying is, did Eren want that they stopped the rumbling? Somehow Reiner in the previous episode said more or less the same thing. He said that in his opinion, Eren wants to be stopped by them. So if he has this idea, if Eren wants that his friends are stopping him, is it because he wants this centipede, this creature, this bacterium to be erased so the Titan's power will be over thanks to his sacrifice? Because if there is no more, even the owner of the founding Titan, automatically the power of the Titan disappears. That's why probably Eren was not focusing on the centipede to transform one more time in the Shubi no Kyojin and start the rumbling again, but he was focusing on Armin, because Armin defeating him, together with the help of Mikasa for sure, but he could have been considered what he has always hoped for Armin. That means the hero that he could have never been before. So, is Eren the one who wants to exterminate all the population for real? I mean, as a principle that he installed in his mind, or the real principle, I mean, the real goal is to defeat the centipede so that the Titan's power will be over. Armin can live a longer life together with his other friends, and at the same time, Armin will become the hero of the story because he will be the one who saved humanity. In season 1, episode 2, Eren is saying, I will wipe away all the Titans one by one. Actually, he is making it. Actually, Eren reached that goal. And Eren understood that it's because of that centipede, probably, that this power of Titans goes on. But if he himself will be gone as a founding Titan, the story will be over. So I understand that on one side we have a person who wants to become into a mass murderer because, in his opinion, there is no other way. But on the other side, we have probably the person that from the future understood how to eliminate the Titans. That means to eliminate himself. If I am a mass murderer, I don't want that others can stop me, right? Exactly. Like Eren always says, I don't like when people are trying to take away my freedom. In the case it happens, I'm taking back their freedoms away from them. But if I want to have this immense power to understand or to decide who's going to die and who's going to survive, sincerely, I don't want that my friends will stop me. I don't want that someone will stop me. Do you understand? That's why I can't imagine Eren completely evil, because he has already managed some decisions he made based on, yes, his friends, based on his own destiny. That when he said that he tried to modify the story multiple times but he couldn't, he was not doing it for his sake. He was doing it for the sake of his friends. Because if it was for him, who cares? He knew that anyway, it was, let's say, good for him to go and let them here and rest. Even if I wanted to remind you that all of the people involved in this story have killed somebody. So if we are completely honest, more as for the moral we all have, we should say Eren shouldn't survive, but even all the others shouldn't survive because they have also killed other people. See, we know Eren is moved by feelings, and that's why for him to let them survive is quite possible. But from our point of view, we should not we shouldn't condemn Eren only. We should condemn all these characters who have killed other people, because they all killed others, both inside the paradise, but even when they came to Liberio. When they came to Liberio, they killed. They also killed. Okay, that they had the feeling to want to have Harem back, etc. But they were killing people too. By the way, what I wanted to say is that if you noticed, as soon as Eren is no more attached to the centipede, they will show us Mikasa's memories with Eren and Armin's memories with Eren. as if before, when he was the Shubi no Kyojin, those memories, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like as if before it was impossible to see that Eren created those memories in the past, and they could recollect those memories in a specific moment. He knew, I mean, Eren knew that when he was dying, they could have recollected his memories. But it was so good to see that even if it was really good, yeah, to see that even if Eren keeps moving forward, it's in his last moments that those memories come back. So they can't do anything else to refrain themselves from stopping them. Otherwise, if those memories came back before, I'm pretty sure that Mikasa and Armin would have done the impossible to refrain themselves from kill him. But Eren chose the perfect moment to let them have these memories back, because it was not fair that he survives, and also because he didn't want to contaminate or to convince them before making their choices. They made their choices, and the result was his death. Now that you were convinced enough and you didn't go back on your thoughts, I can show you the memories. Maybe if Eren showed them the memories before this moment, and he was stopped, or they didn't kill him, maybe, just maybe, he could have felt even more disappointed, because he already felt disappointed by many things. He felt disappointed by his dad's behavior when he wanted to try to find the Race family, but then he, as a coward, he said, "No, I will not do anything." And then Eren felt disappointed. Eren felt disappointed, of course, even from the scenario he saw outside when they reached the ocean. So maybe he wanted to not feel disappointed one more time, to see that his friends would have stopped trying killing him. He preferred that they were pretty convinced till the end, and in fact, he gave them all the tools to believe that he was really evil, so that he could have not felt disappointed in the case the memories went in their minds too early. They could change their mind and they would have stopped killing him. Is this a strategy? Absolutely yes, but he did it on purpose to let them choose what to do and not to step back on their decisions by being convinced by what he would have said in the memories. That's that's pretty awesome, because even in this case you understand that Eren doesn't want to survive and doesn't want that his friends are going to spare him. He wants to go. But before he goes, they have all the rights to know what he couldn't say. And I think that rather than being emotional, this moment is precious. So we will see it later, but that's what I think in this moment, sincerely. Even him going against Armin like that, it was a way for him to confirm, to pretend to be bad, Because if he was not bad as he sounded like in that moment, probably Armin would have said, "Oh no, okay, Eren, I don't want to kill you anymore. Now I remember." La, la. No, for Eren, this was a disaster. For Eren, this was another disappointment. So he preferred to be evil till the end. So Armin got the chance to find the courage to contrast him. And then, after everything was done, now Armin, you have the right to know that actually I was thinking this when I talked to you for the last time. So it takes courage. You need to be courageous to shut up, do things, don't tell them the truth, fake that you, not that you are what you're not, but fake that you don't have this human side still, and let them go ahead with their lives without you. This is courageous. Eren was so brave to do what he did. Exactly. Exactly. Levi is saying it's pointless that we point at this creature that is the centipede, because this centipede is going to survive. We can't kill the centipede with an ability that the centipede gave to Ymir. It's stupid. It will never fade away. Of course, as Levi says, we have to point at Eren. Because if we point at Eren, we are sure that in this case we can change things somehow. And Mikasa always exactly. Levi says this nightmare will not end until we take him down. But Eren wanted to be taken down on purpose. Because if you don't take him down, the centipede will go ahead, trying to find another owner, trying to find something else to attach itself to go ahead, to try to reach Eren once again. So Eren is moving away from the centipede. Okay, he is trying to reach Armin, but he's also, by doing this, he's also moving away from the centipede because he knows the same things. And at the same time, he wants to be so evil against Armin because that's an excuse for him to be killed. The more evil I am, the more they believe it, and the better it is for me because they will reach their goal and I also reach mine. Beh, and now, of course, we have Peak and all the others who tried at least to hug their relatives for a second after all these years of battles. And Peak is saying, "Look, father, I have another job to do." Poor all these people who couldn't even enjoy that hug they gave to their relatives, that it's still not over yet, right? So uh, the sadness to see Pick and all the others, even Gabi, Falco, they are hugging their relatives, but they have to tell them goodbye once again because they need to go on finishing what they started. That's pretty cruel, sincerely. Yeah. Even Falco, that of course remembers his brother's sacrifice. We know that Colt died because he wanted to protect him from the scream of the Beast Titan, and Colt knew that even if he was over there, he couldn't refrain Falco from becoming a Titan. But it was just his most beautiful way to show Falco that his brother was there. That even if he knew that he couldn't do anything. To stay there and try to protect his brother was more important. So Falco is not forgetting, definitely, he's not forgetting what Colt did. But it's also hard now that they could hug their parents and their relatives once again, to move away again, and to say, look, we didn't finish yet. We needed to go back and fight. Hard. And Mikasa is saying, why did it turn in this way? Logically speaking, she's starting remembering other things that she couldn't remember because, of course, she can't reach that memory now, but she needs the proper time to reach it. And at the same time, she is asking herself that question because uh, she felt as if a story went differently. And that's why she can't explain herself why, as much as she probably can think why is it going on this way, because it was a long time from the last headaches that she felt. As much as I can give you another option, she says this sentence because she's asking herself this rhetorical question because she still can't accept that Eren turned the one that has to be defeated. Because in her life, she has always seen Eren on their side as a friend, as a comrade, but also as the one, a lover, yes, but also the one they could share their thoughts together with. So why did it turn everything like this? Is like as if you're living in a real nightmare and you can't wake up anymore because the nightmare is turning into reality. And in front of Mikasa's eyes, there is a demon. If we notice Eren's appearance, he is no more the Eren that she knew. So that's why, that way of asking of Mikasa is like, no, come on. Why did it turn everything like this? Why we can't change things so that Eren too can survive and can stay by our side? Why all these collapsed? And then one of the abilities, no, okay, Zeke to turn people into titans was becoming, it was screaming, right? And he could, if people got in touch with his spinal fluid and then he screamed, they transformed into titan. But you needed to remember one thing: Zeke is a titan. The titans, the nine titans, come from the founding titan that was Ymir. Ymir got in touch with this centipede. So what we saw that was made by Zeke, actually, it's coming directly from the centipede, one of the centipede's ability. That means to release these smoke, and if they inhale it, they turn into titans. That's why I'm saying, yes, these centipede throughout the centuries could have used this ability to defeat the enemy that was contrasting life, that is this centipede, to move forward, to keep multiplying and to keep surviving, to defend itself. I mean, if I, centipede, notice that there are some enemies who try to take life away from me while I want to move forward and go on living. That's why even the power of the Shingeki no Kyojin is one of the most powerful after the founding Titan, in my opinion, because it quite represents what the centipede wants to do, sincerely. But you needed to remember that this ability comes from the centipede, because the centipede, throughout the millions of years, had to resist to calamities, to natural catastrophes, to attacks. So these centipede could transfer all of these Titans' abilities in one to Ymir by becoming the founding Titan, and then when Ymir was dying, these powers were divided, these abilities of each Titan was divided into nine. But the ability of the centipede now to defend itself by using these smoke and transform them into titans, it could be seen in two ways. One, that of course the centipede is defending itself to survive, but the other one is that probably the centipede wants to create titans, to attach itself to one of these titans, to probably try to recreate this immense power that was happening before, when Ymir granted the power to Eren. You need also to remember that this power was given to Eren by Ymir's will. So now this smoke that is coming out from this centipede, it reminds us of Zeke when he also was spreading that gas that they were producing with his spinal fluid, and then he was screaming, and they were transformed into titans. Or even in the case of the wine, we know what happened, but this scene is not new. We saw it other times. And in fact, even the other protagonists remember this moment. They actually remember that they have felt that experience already. Not all of them, because, for example, the parents, like Annie's father and all the other aliens living in Marley, they don't pay attention on this smoke at the beginning. Only Connie has this moment in which he is realizing, oh no, something is wrong, while Annie's father and all the others are still there. And finally, yes, see, one good thing is that Annie's father is helped by Mueller to stand up, and he is confirming once again that if Mueller would have survived, he would have tried his best to solve this fight, one against the other one, to create a better future. And Mueller is putting these words into facts. That is the most important thing. Mueller is like Sasha's dad, or he's like Niccolo, he's like Megas, all these characters that after understanding where the mistake was, they try their best to modify things, to change things for something good. See, no one is no one is paying attention on this smoke that is appearing. See, because they are all taking care of other stuff. Some others are helping the injured people to recover. People keep talking, and in the meantime, they breathe. Okay, they don't even notice this. Oh, and in fact, now you understand for sure that Mueller at that time didn't shoot anything, but he was shooting on the ground as much in the air, sorry, as much as Janet at that time did almost the same to save Onyankopon. Same thing. And his father is saying it's a thanks to you because otherwise we would have kept fighting, sincerely. Oh, it's so beautiful to see people that recognize their mistakes. Mueller said, I made more than one mistake. Let's work together and overcome this. Wow. In fact, people like Mueller, it's good that they survive. That's the main purpose, why the reason why they will survive, because they understood their mistakes and they try to repeat, not to repeat them, but at the same time to repair for those mistakes. Mueller, I'm so happy. I like Mueller as a character so much. Yes. And then the moment that we were waiting from season one, Annie can hug her dad once again. Wow. Oof, this moment in which even the moment in which this hug disappears because this smoke is prevailing. Everyone was waiting that this hug was happening, let's say, that Annie could have keep her promise to reach her dad, and her dad was waiting so long a time. Once they are one in front of the other one, the smoke doesn't show you that moment. That means problems are not over yet because the sky is still not blue. If you noticed, when the sky is clear, the sky is blue, the problems are solved. But until that moment, the fight is not over. And now, more than ever, we understand that we are right. The fight is still going on. And one of these characters is saying, did it die? And Connie says, no, it doesn't smell when titans die. Thank you, Connie, for being. Sorry, I opened a bracket. I was so happy that I was wrong because I was telling you that, in my opinion, Connie was dying. I am happy to have been wrong. So happy. Even in this case, Connie was essential because he could recognize the danger coming. And he said, no, no, it doesn't smell like when Titan dies. What if it's like the stuff that was used on Ragako? I remember during the reaction, I was like, no, no. Because, of course, we know what's going to happen now. And even if we didn't see that they all come back, they turn back to humans, this could have been a so sad ending if you think about it. Uh, and Levi immediately says, "Go, go away, go away. We have to move away from here." Uh, and Big says, "What are you talking about? You see, the people, even if you remember, when Zeke was spreading that gas that day throughout Ragaco, Peak was behind Zeke. If you remember, she was a cart titan. I mean, she was transformed, but she was patiently waiting behind Zeke that these the moment in which Zeke would have strength, right? But now she's like, what are you talking about? Because now she's not thinking about that. Now she thinks that everything is over. That, I mean, that now that they stay on that side while Armin is fighting Eren on the other side, now she's thinking about the beautiful moments that she can treasure because finally she found her father. And even if she says to her father, "Look, father, we have to fight back. My job is not over. I have to go because, of course, everyone is trying now to go to Armin to help him, etc., etc." But she's not even imagining that now that she has to go because she goes to protect her father and everyone, but now she doesn't even imagine that by going away her father will be transformed into a titan. So she was so happy in these few seconds, yes, the few seconds of happiness, as always, these precious moments to treasure. She was focusing too much over this beautiful ending, the fact that she could reconcile with her dad, that she could hug him, that everyone was so happy to hug their relatives, etc., etc. And now she's not even thinking about this smoke. But that's why she can't also feel anything or understand anything that is going on. Because Levi is saying Ackerman and the Titans, holders, I mean owners, are immune. Do you remember? I mean, we need Levi to let her remind about these things. But now, Pick, she was in another state of mind. She was focusing on something good. And at the same time, she can't feel anything because she's a Titan owner. So she will not be cursed, let's say, with this smoke, and then she will turn into a Titan because she's already a Titan. And Ackerman, they don't count in this because Ackerman, they are I don't want to call them a species, but let's say they are special beings, genetically modified. I mean, their genes were modified by the king, the king Fritz, that one of 100 years before, let's say, or no, not 100 years before. Sorry, when there was that pest that was causing so much trouble. And in that moment, the king of that moment decided to modify, genetically speaking, the alien population that could prevent them from dying, all of them. But I think the Ackerman were genetically produced in another period. But anyway, the Ackerman can contrast these smoke because they are not pure Eldians deriving from Ymir. They are genetically modified, let's say. In fact, Pick is looking at him like, huh? Because now it's like as if she's on another planet in this moment. Because she had the luck to hug her dad once again, and now she was ready to move and fly away to protect him for the last time. But Levi is saying, "Cuckoo, hello, do you remember what's going on? You know better than anyone what we have gotta do." Why? Because every time Pick was together with Zeke, she knew what was going on. Uh, See, Pick is saying it's too much. I understand Pick, sincerely. She can't leave her guards down that every time something else starts. I think that each of them needed to reach a limit because they anyway except from being titans, they are humans. So even human beings, there are moments in which they collapse, and in fact even Big is saying it's too much. That means I can't handle this anymore. I'm tired, especially because a few seconds before she was reaching a pure happiness and now she has to go back in the nightmare. Oh, I mean, let's put ourselves in her position. But Levi is so firm that, thank God, let's say that Levi was there trying to wake her up in that moment and not leave his guards down. Levi has never left his guards down, just one time when he was in the forest and he let Zeke spread all that wine instead of drinking a tea. Yeah, in that moment, he left his guards down, and that's why he also regretted the fact that his comrades became titans because he took it so lightly. I mean, he was never guessing why the wine was there and why they didn't want to hear him. Yes, because there was wine, and wine is so precious and they wanted to drink it. But he has never asked himself in that moment what Zeke was planning, etc., etc. So yes, I think that the one and only time in which Levi left his guards down was in that moment. But now he will never do this anymore until this story will end for real. He will always be in tension, like as if something bad is about to happen really soon. And look, let's say thanks, because if it was not for him, probably they would have all transformed into Titan. Even if later we know that they can go back to human, we needed to watch things at the present time without thinking about what's happening later. Okay, but in this moment, everything is crucial, everything is important. What to decide means a lot. And Falco goes, this scene is heavy because Peak now reminds me of Mikasa and Eren when they were taken away, when Armin was left there, and Levi had to choose what to do between Erwin and Armin. These moments in which they are taken away from a place they don't want to go away from. It reminds me, of course, Eren and Mikasa, even when Hannes tried to take them away from the nightmare of Dinah Fritz Titan, and leave Carla over there. See, the daughters and sons who have to detach themselves from the parents, the kids, or the anyway, yes, the sons and daughters that they are taken away from their parents when they need the most. It's pretty intense this moment, and you see Peek's father looking at her, moving away from him, and oof, yeah. And John and Connie, that they stay over there. So during the reaction, I was like, no, because I was happy that Connie survived that so far, but then I saw him with John staying over there. I said, no, no, John, no, because I was afraid that even John was going to end his existence like that. Oof. I'm so happy that it didn't happen. But when I watched that scene during the reaction, I was like, okay, we have to cry more here. Huh? And even Falco that is flying and he's looking in front of him instead of even trying to move his head, because of course he's flying. But you know, when you usually look back, right, to see what you leave over there, and he doesn't even want to look. He prefers to look in front of his eyes, so he's not even facing the nightmare more than usual. Ooh, intense, so intense. Also because Gabi is there, he left Gabi there, so not only he feels so bad for his parents, but Falco left Gabi there because of Falco, because sorry, because Gabi for sure didn't want to leave her parents now that she found them back. But in that case, even in that case, Gabi is looking at him going away from her. This moment is pure desperation, let me tell you. I mean, this scene is. Oof. And Karina is together with her because, of course, it's her aunt, and on the other side we have Gabi's mother. All of them crying. Falco didn't want to turn his face back, but he screamed as a reaction of what he was leaving behind. And then we reach the picture of the thumbnail. And then I'm so happy that we reached it even today, even with this live, because you know that when I put a thumbnail, it's because I know that more or less I can reach that scene. If I'm not able to do so, usually I can also modify the thumbnail. But today I'm happy that we could reach it. The moment between Connie and John together, when they hug, they touch each other's shoulder with the hand, and it's the two of us left. It's like as if they say, "Look, Sasha anyway is gone, but it's the two of us left here." And the fact that in front of them there is this smoke, that it's like clouds, the same clouds that you probably imagine when you reach the afterlife, or the clouds that you can't see anything through, because now it's almost over, right? As much as I told you many times throughout this final episode, what I really, really like here is that all the characters, more or less, they are facing death. Before reaching the last moments, before reaching death or the end, they have the chance to have those last moments. All many characters had these moments of recognition, moments of sadness, moments in which they could rely on the situation itself. So, what I really liked here is that even these two characters had, let's say, the last moments, even if they are not their real last moments. But for us who are watching this episode in that present time, it was like as if, oh, okay, even John and Connie's moments, last moments are coming. And it's in those who are called last moments that you reveal your true self, in my opinion. You say what you have always wanted to say, you do what you have always wanted to do, you convey a message that usually you are not expecting to do. By being scared that death approaches us not in the proper time, we rush and we say, we do things that usually we don't, or say we don't, or we don't say. We don't do or we don't say. And it's so nice that even in these moments, you could see John and Connie meeting and standing one next to the other one as great brothers, facing something that they still don't know, understanding that something is going to happen. That means they will turn into titans. But before turning into non intelligent titans, they want to share some thoughts. And that's what makes you cry, right? Because you think, okay, these are the last moments. So now they are saying something that makes you cry for sure. And it worked. Thank you, Isayama. It really worked. This is how we go out. And they hug each other. We will entrust the rest to our comrades. So let's say that John doesn't like to feel emotional, too much emotional. We saw it in many other moments of this story that John prefers to not, I don't want to say change subject, but he doesn't want to feel emotional. So even in this case, when Connie is saying a sentence that is pretty emotional, that means this is it for us. John is saying, well, okay, but we will entrust the rest to our comrades. That's how Chosahedan soldiers meet their end. Of course, John has mentioned Chosahedan in this last season more than in the previous three seasons. I mean, for John, Chosahedan became the goal that he has reached, but also his home, because thanks to the Chosahedan, he could develop friendships. He found courage inside himself. He could change as a man, and he become less coward than before. So Chosa Hedan is something that changed him completely as a person, as a behavior, as a way to react. I mean, in general, as a person. So the fact that in this final season he is talking about Chosa Hedan so much like this, he keeps talking about it. It's really relevant because in the previous seasons, I mean, season one, especially season one, season two, season three, yes, he was part of Chosa Hedan, but he was not attached to Chosa Hedan as much as for now. As I said, yes, especially season one, because in season one we know that Jan didn't even want to join Chosa Hedan. Absolutely. For him, the best life to live was to live inside the walls, do his job, go back go back home, eat the supper, sleep, and go to work the next day to create a routine that was not dangerous. But Gian, as soon as he joined Chosahedan, he modified this lifestyle because everything could have been unexpected. Nothing was scheduled. So life could have been so mysterious to him while he preferred a comfort zone to live in. So he knew what he was going to do the next day and even the day after, etc., etc. The life with the life inside the Chosaheda is totally different because one time you can decide to go outside the walls, one time you can even die. Sometimes you can even risk your lives. So it's completely different, and that's why John has always felt reluctant to even try to imagine a life like this. It was too scary. Something was not scheduled for him. It was too scary to face, right? And that's why when when in this final season, especially in this final season, he got in touch with his friends of the past, and he decided to forgive them, not only because he also committed mistakes or committed sins, but also because uh, he saw how sincere they were, and he also wanted that his friend Marco, who gave his life for the rest of the story, would have been proud of him. He Let's say that to join Sosahedan, yes, he did it for Marco. Because but Marco encouraged him so much to try and to join, but he saw, of course, that even Mikasa joined, so it was another way to join too. But I think that yeah, John changed his mind when he started getting responsibilities, and he had some huge responsibilities, but I think that he will never regret to join Chosahedan. We had another moment in which he said that the Chosahedan was dead, and it didn't exist anymore. It was the moment in which he talked to John. There was even Mikasa over there too. Um, and Hanji was trying to convince the both of them to join her to respect the Chosahedan's principles. And you remember that John didn't even want to join Hanji in that sort of dialogue between all three because he preferred once again to stay in his room, to sleep, to try to sleep, and to focus his imagination to a future wife, to a beautiful house, to a baby that he would have had, and to say, ah, life would be so great if it was like this, right? But and he tried even to cover his ears. Do you remember? I mean, he wanted to space out and not to be there, especially in the moment in which Eren was betraying them and Eren was going away from them. So John had that huge crisis, but then he decided to join that discussion with Hanji and Mikasa. And I think that that made John different than before. While before, John would have refused, categorically speaking, to join something so risky, so dangerous. In the moment of that scene, you understand how John changed because you understand that after all those experiences that they went through, he couldn't give up in that moment. He was also involved in all this, and he couldn't stand back and say, okay, from now on, who cares? I wanted to go back. And maybe now, if I go back to Paradise, I will have that normal life that I've always dreamt of, etc., etc., etc. I mean, the typical behavior of a coward. But John made a difference in that moment because instead of moving away, always moving away from situations that are risky, that don't know, that they don't tell you where they are going to take you, he decided to join. And even in that moment, when Hanji was begging for their help, Jan said, yes, Hanji, we will help you, because that's how Chosahedan behaves, right? So from that moment, you hear uh, the rebirth of Chosahedan in a different way, even if the principles are the same. And John, especially in that moment, it was thanks to John that they could go on, because Hanji was reassured of the fact that both Mikasa and John would have joined them. So I liked this change of John throughout the seasons. And now more than ever, that he understands that the Chosa Hedan is more alive than before, sincerely, based on these principles, even if the context is completely different, makes me so proud of him. I really like that he is standing right now together with Connie, together with a best friend, and he's not running away. If John would have stayed in front of this risk in season one, he would have run away. But now it's no more season one. Now it's the final season, and John matured a lot, understood that he had to take responsibilities of his decisions, for his actions, for the choices that he was making. So he couldn't run away this time, and it was okay that it was like this, and he was not even afraid of dying anymore as much as he was in season one. And that's why even in season one he didn't want to join the Chosahedan, because everyone was scared of dying. But in this case, John is standing firmly next to Connie without being afraid of dying, being sure that this time you can't run away, but it's pointless even to try to run away, sincerely. Let's stay over there and face the problem. That's that's something that made John change so much. Absolutely. Even the fact that, that he tried to let Eren's neck explode. Wow, another way in which he changed quite a lot, because even if the relationship between Eren and Jan from season one was pretty clear, that means they can't stand each other. Mm, but here, Jan was not doing what he was doing because it was the usual joke between the two of them, and not because he had to confront a friend who is always thinking that he is a superior. I mean, they were not. Yes, they were not joking in that moment. In that moment, Jan was pretty serious. Yes, by saying this, Jan, by saying that's how Chosahedan soldiers meet their end. It's a way for him to say that he is simply proud to belong to Chosahedan and he doesn't regret his choice till the end. Even if later we know that Jan will survive, in that present moment, Jan was like as if he was facing death, right? That he was facing his destiny to turn into a Titan, non-intelligent Titan that couldn't be able to come back as before. So for him, it's like death, the same. But it's exactly in that moment that he is proud to belong to Chosahedan, to stand in front of the problem and face it, and to state that he will not regret that decision of joining Chosahedan. So what he did once he joined Chosahedan was not an imposition. He decided to join it. And from that moment he joined Chosahedan, his life changed totally. I mean, it completely changed his way of thinking and his life based on his perspective. So absolutely. That's the moments. I mean, this episode is also focusing on the characters who don't regret what they did. Levi said that he didn't regret to have chosen Armin. Jan makes you understand that he doesn't regret for belonging to Chosahedan. Mikasa later, by doing what she will do, she will not regret what he did, what she did. So as you can see, all these characters that they don't want to regret their actions, but they want to be proud of those actions because those actions could take the story to a change. That's pretty powerful. Let me tell you another thing. Not only we have these stream, I mean these fog. Sorry, these steam, not stream. These steam. After almost 6 hours talking, I'm tired a little bit. But um, not only you see these steam surrounding them. But another thing that I liked here is that they don't show you their faces while they talk. I don't think it's necessary to show their faces because, of course, they are scared. Of course, they know what's going to happen. So maybe they have a fearful face. So maybe they have a face based on resignation too. Um, but it's not important to show their faces. Maybe they are crying. Maybe they are desperate. But yeah, faces are not important here. The words that are said take a great importance instead in this scene. Do you remember, John, the night we burned the corpses? Absolutely. I mean, I think he is referring to all the members of Chosahedan that died for their beliefs. I also believe that they are talking maybe, yes, of all these comrades that they risked their lives, and they couldn't go back to their normal lives anymore. This was all your fault, you know. I mean, this way to end this tragical moment that comes really soon after, in this way, it's so intense. Yeah, I think that this moment deserves a lot. These two friends that look, it's better if they stayed together, because I think you can face death, even if later, okay, I'm calling it death, even if they were just supposed to transform into non-intelligent titans. But when you have to face a difficulty, you think that if you are together with someone else, you can heal, or you can face it easier, right? Even if at the end we know that when we approach death, we are, yes, we can be surrounded by everyone, but we will face it lonely. I mean, we will be us against death, let's say. But it's good that in these moments of sorrow, and in these moments in which you don't know what's going on, or how or when it will happen, the fact that you share these moments with a dear person next to you, like John and Connie, makes you understand that everything can be, um, easier for you to face something that you don't know what to expect from. John and Connie were hugging, and they knew what was going on. They didn't know a probable result from all these, but they were together. And this is so emotional. The two best friends that are ready to risk their lives together forever. Like in this case, let's quote another one who said the same: together forever. That we got stuck with having to save humanity. Yes. Because remember that even Connie changed his mind in the moment in which he remembered what he told his mother, that he wanted to become a person who could save humanity. And now Connie has enough courage to show to himself too that he is a good soldier, that he stepped on his heart to protect a dear friend, that is Eren, to sacrifice even this friendship for the sake of humanity. And he is also brave, because in order to protect some other people, right now he is facing this moment in which he will transform into a non-intelligent titan, together with many others. But Connie too is not afraid anymore to face all these, because they did it for the sake of humanity. So the purpose, that is better than the feelings that the characters feel in that moment. Yes, we got stuck with having to save humanity. I say yes. Anyway, it's always John's fault. That's a good fault, because if John didn't join, or if Connie did what he did with Falco at that time, the story would have been totally different. So let's say that instead of saying it's all your fault, maybe here Connie, it's his personal way to say thank you, John, for choosing this path, and to be here together with me, because both surpassed lots of difficulty, and now it's time to live this that seems to be the last experience, even if it's not, together. And they transform into titans. Wow. There is this scene when they transform, okay? That there is a person in front of a window, and there's a titan that appears beyond the window. That's season one. I mean, the usual scene in which you see someone inside looking outside of the window and seeing these enormous titans walking. Wow, the references with the season one in this episode are so many. Then, yes, throughout these analyses, I am trying to analyze them, but see, I mean, they are all repeated. I mean, these scenes keep going on being repeated over and over and over again. And this is not a coincidence. This is just a way to see that the story can repeat sometimes. And Reiner, that is a whole that he feels hopeless because he's, how can this happen now? I mean, he's trying. I mean, Reiner is trying his best to confront all of the Hammer Titans, the previous Hammer Titan owners. He's trying to protect everyone. I mean, he's trying to stop this centipede that wants to keep surviving, etc., etc. He was punched, hit, whatever, everywhere, let's say. And now he sees that everything was fading away in front of his eyes, especially if we are talking about Reiner, especially if we are talking about, yes, Reiner looking at the John and Connie, that were those two who in the previous episode forgave Reiner, but even told Reiner that both are the same as he is. So they can't condemn Reiner because of what he did, because they also killed the people. So, and in this episode, you saw how many times John was rescuing Reiner or taking care of Reiner, trying to see if Reiner was okay. So those two that are treasuring Reiner the most, now Reiner is seeing in front of his eyes that they are transformed into non intelligent titans. Unbelievable. Also, because you need to remember that these non intelligent titans, they can approach Reiner. They can approach all the others who are titans already, and if they are going to eat them, they become intelligent titans. So crazy. But the most important thing is that you see Reiner's desperation in the moment he sees that John and Connie are becoming titans, because they decided not only to stay over there, but to accept what was happening in that moment. Now Reiner can't take it anymore. I mean, Reiner is tired. I wanted to praise this character so much. Reiner made not only an evolution of a character, but how much desperation he felt in his life. It seems never ending until, of course, we reach the end of this episode. But if you think about it, There's not even one time in which they are all fine and Reiner can breathe, let's say. Not even one time. Onyankopon that comes back because he finds Annie over there, and of course she can't transform because she's immune for the fact that she's a Titan. But Onyankopon that is behind the corner over there, and he is surviving. Look, Onyankopon that already survived. That already survived thanks to this flying boat, and now he is surviving. But I don't think yeah, Onyankopon is not an Eldian, so that's why he was not involved into these kind of things. But I'm so happy to see that Onyankopon survived. As I told you many times, I think that that was a pretty relevant character, even if at the beginning he seemed to be a secondary character, or he is a secondary character even now at the end. But I really liked that he could survive. Yeah. Ah, my. Oh, that's Annie's father. And Mueller that is looking at him, and even Annie is looking at her dad. No. Okay. Ah, did you see Annie's father looked as a Titan? I mean, okay, one more time. Annie's father transformed into a non-intelligent Titan, looked at Mueller. Mueller was super scared, and Annie's father turned his head and went away. But usually non-intelligent Titans don't do this. Yeah. These centipede is controlling even these Titans, non-intelligent Titans. I have to think more about these because yes, now Eren, if the centipede is over there and he can control everything, Eren now means that Eren can't control these Titans as much as before. He can't. So by not being the Shubi no Kyojin anymore, that centipede that came out and couldn't attach to Eren anymore, that's the founding Titan's power. So Eren is no more the founding Titan now. No, no, for sure. Because do you remember that Eren could control the Titans even in season two when he was launching the Titans like these? Hmm. And Reiner that tries to stop that centipede. But wait a second. Okay, just a second to see. Wait, wait. Okay, no, I wanted to stop here with this live streaming. The reason why I wanted to stop it now is because from now on, Mikasa will have her memories back. But for sure, tomorrow I will start back from this moment. That means the moment in which Armin is saying, Eren, you really want hell. That's what you want, and that's what we were going to do. Um, Also, because I wanted to think in the meantime, the fact that um, Eren now is not attached to this centipede anymore, because the centipede now is stopped by Reiner, by Pick, by Annie altogether, and Eren in the meantime takes care of the Armin's situation. So when Armin says, "Do you really want hell, Eren?" I think that he is referring on the battle that they are going to have between the two of them. So I wanted to stop the live streaming in this moment because tomorrow we start from here. We will start from here definitely, and we go ahead with one of the most memorable moments. That is for sure Mikasa's memories that are recollected. And all the things that are happening. And finally, yes, we will reach the end of Eren. So, yes, I prefer to stop it here because um, even tomorrow it will take a little bit of time to analyze everything. And we will start, yes, from this moment in which Reiner is trying to stop this centipede. And then on the other side, we have um, Mikasa, who's recollecting her memories little by little, and Armin, who's facing Eren at the same time. So stay tuned and keep on watching, guys. Wow, another 3 hours. Wow, incredible. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for joining me in this, and hope to see you tomorrow with another live streaming in which we keep going on with this huge eternal analysis. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye, guys. See you next time with another live streaming. Bye. See you next time. Bye bye.